Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we have a clip of some white women basically discussing the weaves and wigs and the beauty standard. And I need you guys to listen to what's actually being said. It's not a very long clip, but here we go.
Want their hair westernized? Why do they want it westernized? A black lady who's westernized and has all the hair extensions is straying from her natural roots, so she's not authentically black. She's trying to be something that she's not. It's watering down who you are authentically. You should be natural. That's what I say. I'm a naturalist. And if women were that way inclined, they'd be less combative. It's a woman trying to fit in with Western agenda.
No, why can't they just want straight hair?
Why do they want straight hair though?
Because they just feel like it looks better.
No, because they've seen it on the white girl and the Western world. They want it. Yes, it is, man.
It's just like how people say
go speak to a woman in Africa and chat to her in it with no makeup. They put natural stuff. Nothing is natural, and that's what confuses women and disconnects women from who they are as beings. Women shouldn't want their hair Western.
Now, if you take a listen to what she's saying, she's actually speaking facts. What she's talking about is the disconnect from who you are. And she's pointing out that Black women have been brainwashed into believing that a westernized look, a westernized beauty look is better than their own. It's somehow more aesthetically pleasing. And so they strive to achieve a look that's not really natural to them. And a lot of times Black women will dismiss certain conversations, particularly ones that revolve around weaves, wigs, and the whole hair situation. And on a certain aspect, you can kind of downplay it, but not really, because with the way in which Black women as a whole, especially the ones that wear weaves and wigs consistently, the way that they regard it, that's where the problem is coming in at. Because a lot of times they won't be seen as, without a lace front, without, it used to be sew-ins, back in the like 2010 and stuff like that. It was the sew-ins. Now it's, melting the lace front and all of that good stuff. And they're spending exorbitant amounts of money sometimes in order to achieve these looks that they're trying to achieve. And it's actually become a part of the bad bee costume. You got to have a lace front. You got to have, you can't be naturally you, right? If you're a Black girl that's trying to be considered a bad bee, you can't actually just be you and the way you naturally appear. That's not going to be good enough. You have to have the uniform. You've got to have the lace front with the baby hairs. You got to have the lashes. You got to have the makeup. You got to have the full beat face. You got to, if you can afford it, you need to get a BBL, those types of things. And the reality is that it has been a very effective brainwash. And what the woman is saying here is actually better to gravitate more towards what you authentically look like so that you can connect with who you authentically are. And I'm sorry, when a white girl got to tell you that trying to imitate her is not good for you to do, you got to take a step back for a minute, and instead of being upset about it or feeling away because it's a white girl saying it, you got to kind of look inward and examine that, because we as Black women, we have so much potential, and a lot of it gets wasted so much we waste our own potential so much because we don't realize who we are, because we don't take pride in who we are from an outward standpoint or an inward standpoint. And we revel in being something else, anything else but us. And notice she said something, because she said something else. She was like, it leads to a lot of combativeness. If you study where they get this hair from and how the hair is acquired and all of that type of stuff, I do honestly believe that there is some kind of correlation between constantly wearing these wigs, especially if they're human hair, and the attitude that come along with it. Because there is an attitude that comes along with it that women that don't consistently wear wigs and stuff don't have. And it is a combative, like, when you see the bad B uniform, you about to encounter a woman that's not about to be pleasant. You may can get sex out of her, you may can have a fun time with her, but you already know that this is not somebody that you need to take seriously in any way, shape, or form, because this is not going to be a good person. And unfortunately, that's the way that it's seen. Anytime I see chicks that's got that whole uniform thing going, I avoid them. Even as a woman, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to speak, just because of the perception of who these women are and what they about. It's not good. Like, it's really not good. Like, I don't think Black women really understand. It's gotta be something. Because Black women as a whole in general have a very nasty sort of disposition that other women don't have. And I'm not real keen on blaming all of this other stuff from the past either. Like, I'm not real keen on that, because Black women know what they be doing. But at some point, we got to be able to turn it around. At some point, we got to look and say, okay, being me, who I naturally am, has got to be enough. And it's got to be more than enough. And it's got to be, you know what I'm saying? If you know that you need to make changes in order to not be the butt of jokes and conversations like this, because they can't have a conversation about no other demographic of women. Not this conversation. This conversation is for Black women. And the fact that they can even have a conversation about how brainwashed Black women are when it comes to what they see as beautiful, and how beauty to them is everything except what they look like, that's problematic to the highest degree. Then you got a lot of Black women who they perpetuate the stuff on their own. They perpetuate things like colorism. So the darker you are, the apparently the more unattractive supposedly you are, and things of that nature. And Black women perpetuate these ideas from both sides. You can have a light-skinned woman saying crazy stuff, just like this post that went viral. Some chick that be making content or whatever went on some type of rant, a colorist rant, about how she gonna be more acceptable in life in general because she's a light-skinned woman versus dark-skinned women. So when Black women particularly are usually the culprit behind maintaining colorist ideas. And they try to blame it on Black men, but I see a lot of Black women I just see a lot of Black women that do that have negative things to say on either side. Dark-skinned women have negative things to say about light-skinned women, and vice versa. Darker skinned women, more naturally, you know what I'm saying? If your hair is kinky or whatever, that's supposed to be ugly or what have you. Which is why the bad B uniform is straighter hair or Brazilian hair or a loose curl or a loose wave. It's not a fro. It ain't a fro. It ain't afro puffs. It ain't bantu knots. It ain't locks. Ain't nobody getting no melted lace wig that's locks. You see what I'm saying? So, in order to be viewed as the most beautiful, you have to don things that don't naturally grow out of you that way. So when are black women gonna stop that foolishness? How long we gonna basically be having our hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side? And white women are looking at us like, come on. Because you know white women be doing anything to have their hair curly, right? You know that Asians do anything to imitate locks, right? You know that people across the world whose hair naturally grows straight look at our natural hair and the styles that we can achieve with our natural hair, and they try to duplicate it because of the uniqueness of it, and their hair don't naturally do that. Like I have watched videos of Asian boys, kind of darker skinned, a little bit darker than your typical Chinese or Japanese or Korean. And it's a craze of them going to, salons and whatever, and manipulating their hair in such a way where it appears nappy because they hair don't grow like that. Our hair do it naturally, and we be trying to get away from it for the most part. Now, it has gotten a little better because you can walk down the street and at least see a black woman with locks at minimum, right? But at the same time, it's still too many black women who can't get away from the whole lace front thing. Even if you don't perm your hair under it, if you don't deal with your own hair for 8 months out of the year and you constantly got a lace front on, you still got a problem. Anyway, I just wanted to speak on that and also kind of talk about how other demographics of women see us. Because if we're going to say that the men need to not compete with us to determine their level of masculinity among other men, then we need to compete with when we need to measure ourselves against other women to determine our level of femininity among women. You understand what I'm saying? Don't compare ourselves to black men, compare ourselves to other women. And when we start doing that, that's when black women don't like the conversation no more. Anyway, jump down in the comments, like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, Sister Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimson Ice.